I'm I'm a yogi. I'd love to have you join me. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications, and share this video with a friend. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. This is our third video about Abhyanga. Ritual self-massage is such an important part of self-care. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It frustrates me that this is not something that we're taught in health class. This is not something that we're taught in physical education. This is something that we should be taught in health class and or in our physical education in school. So I want us to think for a second about our body as a computer, okay? And the nervous system, which lives in our spine, that's the primary home of the nervous system. It innervates our entire body, but it lives in the spine. The nervous system controls our body, so it's like our motherboard. And just like man-made technology, the technology in our body consistently needs to be upgraded. We download upgrades every single time we put nutrition into our body. The unfortunate part of that is that we also download viruses into our system every time we consume a toxic substance. For the purposes of this video, we will consider toxins to be anything which does not serve the body in recreating our cells based on our particular DNA. That gives us quite a broad range of toxic waste that can build up in our tissues. So let's go back to the nervous system, which lives in the spine, and it is our motherboard. It has two modes, just like a computer has two modes. You can boot it up in full operational mode. That would be considered sympathetic mode, or you can boot it up in safety mode. In safety mode, there are a limited number of tasks you are able to accomplish, and that is to protect the integrity of the computer and the motherboard. Our nervous system also has a setting like that. It is called the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system allows our body to rest and digest. When we are in sympathetic mode, there are certain functions of our body that are not prioritized. The sympathetic nervous system primarily sends our blood to our limbs, to our outside sources, so that we can move and work and play. However, for the body to detox and eliminate toxins, all of that blood must be cycled back to the center of the body for processing. This does not happen automatically when we are in sympathetic mode. That's why we have to interact with our nervous system and switch it into parasympathetic mode with intention. For the sake of this video, we're just going to remind ourselves how much our culture has shifted in just the last 250 years, where we have begun prioritizing colonialism, capitalism, and productivity. We've also spent centuries demonizing the physical body, pointing out all of the sins that could exist within ourselves, which is so disrespectful to the ultimate perfect creation of the universe. There's a reason why we are different from the animals. The reason is because the animals act on instinct. They don't have a choice. When it is sleeping time, they sleep. When it is grooming time, they groom. Period. They don't get to decide, oh, I'm just going to get 5 more minutes. Or I'm just going to do one more task and then I'll relax. This is exactly why it is more important than ever for us to reclaim our bodies is honestly the most spiritual thing that we can do, seeing as how we are created in the image of the Creator. And they said that we were good, just the way we were created. The fact of the matter is, nothing about us changed before the apple was eaten or after the apple was eaten. The only thing that changed was our understanding. The only thing that changed was that now we knew the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. Unfortunately, that right and wrong is based on our perspective, which is affected by our free will. So it really helps us to shift our perspective about our body and remember and claim that our body is the temple of the Most High God. They live inside of us. Don't we want to give them a great place to live that's fully functioning and operational and always downloads its updates on time? I think I've heard before that one of the most frustrating things for an IT tech is people who do not run updates on their computers, because it takes time and it takes time away from their work and it's just frustrating, and so they just keep clicking do it later, do it later, do it later, and then they run into issues with the operating system because they did not keep up with the software updates. I find it fascinating that in today's culture, so many of us are aware that our software needs to be updated, our phones need to be updated, our apps need to be updated. To get these things to work optimally for us, we must interact with them. We got to click start, we got to push the buttons, and we got to take a few deep breaths while it updates. In the words of my Pastor Pop, this is where the rubber meets the road. Our body also needs us to push its buttons and take a few slow, deep breaths while it cleanses itself and updates the system. Whatever I have accepted into my space that does not actually resonate with me, whether it be society's perception of who I should be, or a religious group saying, this is what you're allowed to believe, this is acceptable behavior, this is unacceptable behavior. The most important behavior, in my opinion and experience, is self-massage. To connect in these intimate spaces with myself. Did you know that this little spot I'm massaging right here actually connects the spine to the cervical spine to the brain? And if this spot right here is stuck, which you can see mine often gets very tight and stuck, this actually diminishes the amount of oxygenated blood that gets to my brain. And do you know what happens then? When there is diminished levels of oxygenated blood in my brain, I experience brain fog. Because my brain is literally foggy. Our body eliminates toxins in several ways: through our exhales, through our urine, feces, through our queefs, through our farts, through our burps, through our sweat. And let me tell you guys, when we direct our breath to the spaces that feel stuck and tight within us, and then we also massage those spaces with our fingers, I actually experience isolated pockets of sweat around my body. And I'm sharing that because I've found it to be so fascinating that, right there, I've been hanging on to some shit that doesn't belong. And I was ready to let that go today. And for me, I don't get this type of personalized detoxification if I'm just lifting weights, or I'm just running through a vinyasa, or I'm just going for a run, or I'm just walking. Walking is, in my opinion, the best form of exercise because our body is so good at healing itself. And if we walk in alignment, our body is specifically powered to boost our health with each footfall. And that's so amazing to me. I get really excited about that. But the other thing that's super important to remember is that all of that fascia, that interstitial tissue, which lives between our muscles and our tendons and our ligaments and our discs and our bones, that all needs to be touched somehow every day and innervated with fresh oxygen, so that we can upload our software updates and empty the cache, empty the trash folder, and take time in parasympathetic mode to move slowly, to breathe fully, to simply consider what the connecting points in the body feel like. Do they feel tight and stuck? Are there burning sensations when we stretch? Is there a sharp pain that maybe we should back off from? Anyone is qualified to touch themselves. We may, in fact, be the most qualified to touch ourselves because we are the only ones who can understand how each touch resonates in our system. The more that we practice touching ourselves, as we learn meridians, as we learn energy cycles within our bodies, the more that we practice, the easier it becomes because we don't have to think about it. Our body just does it. Our body and our mind become aligned, and we don't have to guess. We don't have to ask or resent pain and irritation. We interact with it. We acknowledge it. We play around with some curiosity. If I squeeze here and soften there, can I improve sensation in my body? How can I bring more space? How can I flush whatever it is that feels stagnant? Manually shifting our body into parasympathetic mode is one of our responsibilities as humans. Just as we take care of our cars and we take care of our electronics, we take care of our clothes and we take care of our homes, we must take care of this precious little temple that we arrived in and we will carry around with us until the day we die. I'm so grateful for all of you who tune in to learn with me. I'm only sharing my experience, my strength, and my hope. I have been studying yoga as a spiritual practice and lifestyle since 2015, but there is no perfection of this process. There is no time when I will reach enlightenment and still be able to interact with you guys. Once we reach enlightenment, we're dead. We're gone from this earth. So thank you so much for being here with me today, for putting yourself first, and for doing the work. Learning about your health, learning about your body, learning about how your body works. Our bodies, our temples, they're constantly updating themselves, releasing the hottest, newest version every 3 days on a cellular level. Nobody in the tech world can keep up with this machine that we take for granted. So thank you for being here and learning how to appreciate and to treasure the cells that carry your soul. The cells will only be here for a short time, but our souls will carry this self-care and this love into eternity. I love you all. See you next time. Please remember that if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to know how you can personalize your practice, or if you want to start doing one-on-ones with me, you can check out my website, which is emme.yoga.